All right, welcome back. Under the rug. I almost say entrepreneur podcast. What a phrase. Yeah, I just finished doing that one. And we running a little bit late for those on Facebook Live. I do apologize. We just a little late because I was having some technical difficulties with this internet service earlier. I don't know what was going on, but it wouldn't do for nothing, man. I mean, you would think in 2018 in the Bahamas, we would have a good, secure internet connection, but unfortunately, we still have our issues.
Sorry.
Really, Chrissy?
Sorry.
You got a bust out laugh like that?
Sorry.
My goodness, man.
Sorry.
Yeah, but unfortunately, yeah. But we only start like 15, 20 minutes later. What it was on Facebook Live. Yeah, man. We tugging it out. By the way, if y'all want, and let's get this out early, Chrissy. If y'all want to see us start every time, all the time with the high-tech equipment, please go ahead and visit goundertherug.com, and there's a donation section where you can kindly contribute those funds that you may have loosely laying around that you're able to donate to us so that we can be able to have the time and make the time to be here for you on time, all the time. So please go ahead, goundertherug.com. Also, want to pick up our sponsor today is BahamasClassifiedAds.com. BahamasClassifiedAds.com. All of you guys, it's a new company, so you're not going to see the ads there now. But for all y'all, with y'all ghetto junglers posts on things for sale where you got to keep scrolling for hours just to find Bahamas Classified Ads is what you are looking for. Please go there. You can upload your ads, upload anything you're trying to sell, or if you're looking to buy, rent, or real estate, you want to buy products, phones, whatever, go to BahamasClassifiedAds.com and start uploading your ads. And listen, it's a special first 3 months free. You could post as many things as you want for free. Pictures, video, information, everything. BahamasClassifiedAds.com. Go right ahead and go there and put your ads up there. If you're selling weave, go post your weave up there. If you want to sell the bubbler which you had for a little while, you need one, get one new ride, go ahead and post it up there. If you want put up your place for rent, anything, go there, put it up, bing, get it sold, get it rented, BahamasClassifiedAds.com. Now, Christina,
Hi.
You take off your glasses. What happened?
Because my computer's far away. Now that I'm phoneless, I am 3 days without a phone. I now see. You know, I used to think my son was overreacting when he would say that, "Mommy, I don't have my phone. I'm so lost." I get it now. So I have to take off my glasses, and y'all just have to look at my beautiful but dark circled face because the computer is far.
Okay. Oh, that's fine. Well, we don't mind. We can still see you.
You don't know when I put on my makeup. I'm cute.
So modest.
Yes.
So modest.
This humility, Greg. You know, it's really difficult to be so humble.
I understand.
So difficult, man.
I understand. I'm trying to get your mic situation good. Let's see here. Let me rotate that right there.
Did I do something right? Because I can see where Bilal told me give them access to my mic and my camera, so I'm doing because I little.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah, you're quite fine. I was just trying to line up the thing for SoundCloud. But today we're going to be discussing something that I don't quite understand, and I want to dive deeper into. And I think Chrissy is the perfect person to do it with because I think she is always prepared. Every time the Victim Olympics comes around, she is trained. She has put in the time, the effort to make sure that she is ready to take home the gold in the Victim Olympics every time. Listen, you take your training serious, your regimen, you have studied, and when it's time to be the victim, Christina right there at the finish line ahead of everybody else.
Disagree.
Go ahead.
You just don't understand the black-white construct. That's all, but that's okay because you're young. Maybe you need to just, open up your mind a little bit. But it's not that I like the Victim Olympics because let me just say, first of all, we all know that in this life, in the human experience, everybody wants to believe that they belong to something. Everybody wants to be bigger than something beside themselves. And so a lot of times, especially when it comes to issues of race that you and I vehemently disagree about, you're going to feel that way about the Victim Olympics. But I'm not an active participant. I just be minding my business, right? And then it's be like, tag me in, tag Chrissy in, tag her. I'd be minding my own business, living my life. But then, people come talking shit on social media. I have to be like, tag me, boo. We deal with unknowledgeable people.
Well, you see, I've seen, especially in recent times, with the the past couple shows, especially, um, the victimhood comes out. Hey Barry, what's going on? Barry's hello. The victimhood tends to come out when we have those kinds of discussions. And the one that I don't understand is, especially the show that we did with TH on the N word, right? I really don't understand why Black people fight for control of that word so much. Just to fight for this control, like they bring out all of every victim card is out just so they can determine who can use this word. And I'm
That's
like,
not what it is, Greg.
What is it?
Your interpretation is wrong. It's not that Black people are being the victim. Black people are merely telling the history of oppression, discrimination, and shitty things that have happened to us and still continue to happen to us.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, I don't think it's a fighting for the word. It's just that, like most people who've been oppressed and discriminated against, there are certain rules that you must be aware of, so you are sensitive to the plight. I don't think Black people like to hold on to the victimhood, because our culture and our history is more. Again, we are more than the transatlantic slave trade. But a lot of times, it's been affecting how we are treated in the country, in the world, everywhere.
But I hear you, but I disagree.
Okay,
especially when it comes to people like I understand, and that is very real. Hey, legal, it is very real. And who was asking? Barry was asking. Topic is Victim Olympics, Barry, and it is very real to some people, right? Sure, I get it. You understand? Yes, some people have been through some terrible treatment, have been victims of hate crimes and all kind of difficult circumstances. I get it, but not everyone. And when people that haven't experienced those things try to grasp and hold on to this as a reason for why they are not progressing, that's where I begin to have an issue. When they try to think, but they know some people that have experienced it or have heard about it, and they want to grab onto it. Oh, this oppression in the white man, this and all of this racism and all of this, and this is why I can't move forward and blah, blah, blah. That's when I have an issue with it.
Well, sometimes. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was saying, I agree. It's not, I don't believe in people using it as a crutch, but you have to also realize that a lot of the discrimination that we see in the world, even bigger than the whole racial issue, even the issues that I've shared with you in my personal life that I've gone through. A lot of people just want to hear you say, you know what? I did that fucked up shit to you. And let me just apologize. Because even before the racism, I share with listeners to my show and to your show what I'm going through with my own blood-related family. If you did something to me, abuse me, beat me, rape me, molest me, and you still want flex and show your ass, I'm going to remind you about your shit. Because you can't step to the podium of decency when you are an indecent person.
Which, yeah, I get that. But then you see what you describe is when someone has directly done something to you. What I don't like, and this is what, and some of the things you were saying on your show, I completely disagreed with, is where you were saying every white person has benefited from this system and this. No, that is not true, Chrissy.
Yes,
that is not true. Not every white person has benefited. You have a lot of white people that are struggling just as much or even worse in a lot of circumstances. So not every white person has benefited. And I don't like when you or anyone else says that, because it's just simply not true.
That's not true.
That is not true.
Yeah, you know what?
How do you know every white person has benefited? Tell me how.
I challenge you, because again, like I said, I'm not trying to sit up here and pretend. And I said in America, and I stand by what I said. Since I've been in America, I am disliking white people more and more. Now, again, there's some white people who I love, who I am related to, who I have community with, and who I have friendship with. But at the same time, you have to understand that you have been the beneficiary of this, because your white skin opens up vistas for you that are shut down to dark-skinned people. And the fact that you are not willing to accept the definition of racism, I can only tell you what has happened.
No, you got it wrong.
But if you're a white person,
you ain't willing to accept the definition of racism.
I am.
You ain't willing to accept.
When a group of people are oppressing another group systemically and endemically, okay? And the thing is, I'm not saying that you have to say that all the time when something happens to you is because I'm black. But a lot of times when people feel they have been victims, a lot of times people who have been doing it to you refuse to acknowledge the hurt that you feel and refuse to acknowledge their maltreatment.
But that's because not everyone is doing that. And I understand why they feel the way they feel. If you attributed something to me that I didn't do, I don't appreciate that.
Well, I agree.
I don't.
If you didn't do it.
And that's why I don't like when black people blanket. Every white person has been oppressing people and has benefited. I don't like when people just completely throw that big blanket and say it's all and sudden. I don't like that.
That's not what people are saying.
That's what you say.
No, I said you have benefited from the system of overt racism. Every person who is phenotypically white, for example, this young lady who wrote a brilliant book, and I'm not going to call her name because I don't know, anyway. When you're poor and white, you're treated differently than when you're poor and black, because the system is such. And this is not no victim Olympics. This is
by who? It's circumstances.
By society.
By who?
By the fact. Do you know the history of the GI Bill in America?
No, inform me.
Well, the history of the GI Bill basically guaranteed people going to the service to come back, get better rates at housing, get education, etc. But that same premise didn't apply to people of color.
Did it specifically outline the skin color thing in the bill?
It does, in that it was only given to people of a certain skin color. There are many.
No, hold on. That's not what I asked you. What I asked you is, in the bill, does it specify skin color or race or anything like that? That's what I'm asking.
Sorry, where I gone? Hold on. To see this when I need my phone. Hold on a second. I'm having technical issues. Because again,
it goes back to what we were explaining last time. There's a difference between the culture and the actual systems and policies. People try to kind of intertwine them and mix those up. So does it say in the bill that you have to be white or black people need not apply? We have here in the Bahamas. You see, here in the Bahamas, we clearly have Bahamians need not apply in a lot of our systems. It clearly says that Bahamians can't do certain things. Does it say that in America? And with this thing
most of American laws prohibit black people from having agency. The preamble says all men are created equal. That all men didn't happen until later on, because all men means all white men, and the world is still ruled by the white male supremacist organ.
But it doesn't say all white men, though.
Guess what? Somebody please let me know about the GI Bill, because it's been a while. I said, the thing is, and I will admit, I don't have all the information on the GI Bill, but I know from hearing about it, from seeing it happening to black people. All right? But my issue with the whole issue about the victimhood thing, right? When people who have been the oppressor can't handle what they've done, whether it's your generation, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, they like to give you this old fragile white people poor me issue. And you don't have the right to do that. Because you can't benefit from the system.
But that's not fair. That's not fair, Chris. You can't say you can't. Okay, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Do you want me to hold you responsible for your criminal great-granddaddy?
If I benefited from it.
Do you want me to hold you responsible for your criminal great-granddaddy?
Let me just say my great-granddaddy wasn't a criminal. But you have benefited from the proceeds. It's like in what we see in the Bahamas now, where these children of the political elite who now don't want to be beat with their daddy stick. One of our good friends is famous for this. She don't want people to remember that her daddy teeth the things, but then she's want to stand up on this paragon of virtue. You see, you cannot have it both ways. You cannot. You have benefited from the system of slackness and corruption.
You can't, but you can't prove that, though. You can't prove that in every case.
I mean, you can't, Gregory.
This is why I don't like when you throw that big blanket over people. You can't prove that in every single case.
Every white person has benefited from
that racism. Is not true. That's not true. I want to ask Lorena a question. She says they don't oppress, but they benefit from the system. Like it or not, if I were white, I'd take advantage of the privilege, even if I weren't racist. Okay, Lorena, let me know. Let me know if you were white. Tell me which or what specifically you would take advantage of. Let me know what you would do if you were a white person. Gia says things are more subtle. Things may not be written, but there is a hidden way of operating. I can agree with that.
Yeah, give the bullet points to the GI Bill because Gia is Miss PhD who's committed this shit to memory. See, I don't have time to put white fragility in my system. The fact that you're guilty about what you benefited from, that ain't my concern. Just don't show your ass to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I'm not saying no one has benefited. I'm pretty sure we know for a fact that a lot of white people have benefited from the system, right? However, not all. That is where the problem is. That is where the problem lies for me. And Rhea says, if her granddaddy thief from my estate, yes.
That's why.
But here's the thing. Her granddaddy stole from your estate, Rhea. You need to take that up legally and try to get it back. It was her grandfather. She didn't do it herself.
What rights do we have?
Well, that's a problem. Then that's something we need to tackle. We need to tackle tangible things, not the boogeyman. I don't like when we create the boogeyman and don't do nothing about it.
There's not a boogeyman. There's called reality.
No, that's the boogeyman because y'all ain't giving me. You got to give me something tangible that I can see clearly or touch, hold. Give me something to hold on, not just the white man and that's the boogeyman to me. Don't give me the white man.
Boogeyman. It's the fact that, for example, housing in America, and again, even in the Bahamas, you may not be familiar with Collins Wall because a lot of y'all young children don't know the foundation. There was a time when Black people couldn't go to certain areas of New Providence. Mm-hmm. There was a time when Black people were shunned from certain islands in the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. So even though we're in the Caribbean, based on our colonial heritage and our neo-colonial heritage, people who are brown and Black are still being victimized. Look at how our government to this day operates. Whether it's the Minnis government, the Christie government, the Ingram government, the Pinland government, even
so based on your definition of racism, then all our government racist.
I didn't say they're racist.
Yes, you did. Based on the definition you gave earlier about being able to oppress people, you say when you oppress a group of people, that's the definition of racism. This is recorded, so people can go back and listen to what you gave us your definition of racism earlier. So you are saying that Minnis and all of our Black leaders are racist.
No, they can't because they're Black. Now maybe, he's half Black.
Come on, you sound ridiculous.
Black people are ridiculous in a system. The government, do you think that these Black people who sit in the seats of the government of the Bahamas are really controlling the economic and socioeconomic purse strings? Do you really believe that?
Yes.
Well, I'll be down. So you don't know about the G7, the G8. You don't know about this whole.
What is private jets? That's the new city. That's the new private jet.
White supremacist governments, for example, the Bahamas banking secrecy was taken away. Did they take it away from Switzerland? No. Because you see, we got to keep Black folk in their place. Because if once I give you wealth and education, I can no longer shit on top of you. So I still maintain.
Like Sabah Tuesday night, they didn't want you all to have nothing. Barry.
Sabah was a criminal up until last year.
Let me read Barry comment. This is an essay Barry write for us. You see how long this is? Let's take up the whole screen. Says, I've never had a white man turn me around for the way I looked. Standard young man with an afro, blue jeans, and a white shirt. But I felt that way more times that I can count. Walking into a store, walking behind someone on the street, or just sitting outside with my boys. And those people are niggas just like me. But when I talk to my woke friends about it, they blame those people's treatment of me on the results of colonialism. P.S. I've done my fair share of shoplifting and vandalism as a kid, but I can honestly say I've never done anything close to it beyond 16 years old. But those eyes still be on me from time to time.
They're always on you, boo.
Well, hey, and again, you know what that is? That's them doing
live up to that bullshit.
Exactly. But again, this is what happens when you blame an entire group for the acts of a few, right?
For example, Gregory, why is it that when I was being hired by the Ministry of Tourism in 1997, the question after my resume, my skills, my writing samples was, you don't perm your hair.
And who was the person that asked you that?
A dumb Black bitch.
So
because she is governed by the colonial stereotype.
Oh, Lord. See that's
her hair kinky. It's just the reason why, Gregory, you can't get hired with a beard.
See, that's the victim Olympics right there, right? You blame. She said that to you, and you blame someone else for her.
Because the standard of beauty is Eurocentric. And so my natural hair, are you shaking your head?
The standard of beauty is whatever we accept as the standard of beauty.
Greg, oh Lord, you're so naive.
Well, mother said, listen, we have allowed ourselves to be conditioned to believe that is the standard of beauty. We have allowed ourselves. See, this is why you have to be responsible and not blame other people. We caused that. We buy into it. You see, you said a black person said that to you, not a white person.
Because the civil service rules were written by the British colonialists. The civil service rules are still being used today that were written by the white colonialists. It's called general orders.
So you're still blaming them, even though the black leaders have been in power for 40 plus years.
But the black leaders themselves are neo-colonialists, and they worship that neo-colonial white system. It's the same reason why is it that... Oh, go ahead.
Whose issue is that? You're still going to blame the white man for that?
It's our issue, because if I don't conform, for example, if the Bahamas government don't wheel and turn around and do as the white man say, they ain't gonna get all them loans. How much money we done borrow? $1 billion?
Way too much. Oh, let me read this comment. Lorena says, it's not being held responsible, but if I cannot succeed because you're benefiting from the proceeds of a system that has oppressed me and others like me, how can I not expect to feel some kind of way? Oh my God, somebody get me a handkerchief and a tissue. Oh, let me wipe away my tears.
You funny. Come on, Lorena. Are they fake tears?
Come on, Lorena. Let's be serious.
It's the truth, Gregory.
See, this is the problem, right? And I will explain this to you.
You must don't feel it as much.
No, let me explain it to you, right? And Lorena, I hear what you're trying to say, right? But who is oppressing you? Who is oppressing you, Lorena? Please let me know.
The imperial figurehead.
Who is stopping you from succeeding, Lorena? Answer that for me, please. I look forward to your response as to who is oppressing you and stopping you from being successful. I'd like to see that answer before I go ahead. Sandy says, a nigger, black, Negro, African, American, African, Jamaican, Bahamian, Haitian are not counted. What are we referring to there? I don't know. I kind of lost.
Sandy, clarify.
Yeah, clarify. Rhea says, man, Greg, wait, which system I can fight that in? My family, Kendora says, my family profits from her grandfather's deeds.
And so does mine. Why do you think the Thompsons own what they have? And I tell you, my grandfather was crazy. My grandfather used to return the Al Capone gold back to the crown.
Lorena says,
took a few bars.
Lorena says, I take advantage of a bank. Loans and education especially, possibly play crazy and see if I can get away with murder, literally. Oh, really, if you were a white person, that's what would happen. You would just magically get a loan. You would just take advantage. They would just roll out the red carpet and give you a loan if you were white. And what would you do with that, Lorena? Please
did we not just give Oban rights to go get loans? We did it with Bahama. We did it with, did we do it with the Arison family? I'm trying to think. Because Ted Arison had money. I can't remember, but we are famous for the white man coming to the Bahamas with the empty suitcase, using our land and taking our land and borrowing money.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you, but not all. I don't know why you think just because you're white you can get it. I don't know why you think like that's the only prerequisite that you need. It doesn't work like that. Rhea says, I get your point. I don't believe in being a victim. We must fight, work hard, and overcome. But the reality is what it is. Be smart enough to finesse your way through it because the ish is real.
It is real.
No, I agree. But my thing is that shouldn't stop you. Lorena says racism is based on color. Oppression is based on race. What?
That's interesting.
Interesting how? What do you get from that?
The oppression based on race. Because see, in the Bahamas too, what we're experiencing, and this is something why I guess you are saying that our leaders are racist, we have more of a classist issue because we have broke-ass black people who found their way in governments that have continuously raped the people, and now they have riches, and they use that to fuck with other people of the nation. For example, why is it that after 20, how many years was Andrews represented by the leader of the country, and still Andrews looked like the shithole? Yes, I can say shithole. Besides BMN.
You know I blame that. Oh, please. I blame them for that. That's the issue is. But Lorena, I don't agree with that. Oppression is based on power. Oppression is based on power, not race.
Oppression is based on race. I am automatically, it is automatically assumed. Okay. Thank you, Sandy. Greg in this bubble, sweetie. And guess what? Greg and I have been having this discussion for 7 years.
Well, hey, listen, y'all need to join me in this bubble because life is good where I am.
We're good.
Life is good where I am. Sandy says, what, Greg, you in the bottle, brother? Well, hey, listen, this bottle is wonderful because I see myself progressing. I am doing better. I am soaring to higher heights, and I am achieving a lot more. So I don't know what bottle y'all in, but y'all need to join me in this bottle.
But you have to understand how the world works, Greg, and this is endemic of your demographic.
I understand. See, that's the difference. You assume I completely understand how the world works. This is why I'm
say that.
This is why I'm able to do the things that I do because I understand how the world works. I understand. I forgot to tell you last week I studied psychology and human behavior. I know how this world works. I know how people go. This is why I'm able to do certain things. I know just how to move throughout and work this game to get what I need to get. I know
that's good that you were blessed with that talent. A lot of us don't know, like Rhea says, it's about finessing. Many of us have had to finesse, but everybody isn't skilled at the finesse. That's why you still got people 5 generations deep living in Baintown, shitting outside and pumping water. Okay?
Very important.
Black people
Very
don't
important.
want to get outside and pump water. If you ask anybody in the hood, I doubt they'd say, man, I'm so happy to wake up and pump this fucking water and warm it on the kerosene stove in 2018. Nobody wants to do that.
I get you. See, Chrissy, read that one. I think you can like this one.
Redlining and districting in the U.S. is a great example of benefiting from the color of the skin. They literally led to the ghettos in the U.S. Yes, and I've told Greg this. Like I told you the story of I-95. You know, again, when you destroy the communities and put up big walls, the real estate value goes down and things change. And that's why I laugh now when you see, like, for example, I go in my Brooklyn neighborhood, right? Which was, now I will admit it wasn't poor, but it was mostly Black West Indian. But I go to my Brooklyn neighborhood now, and I am just amazed at the Birkenstocks and blonde hair and Whole Foods bags that I see. Again, communities that you were once afraid to go into because they were redistricted, but now you like them now. The brownstone I grew up in. When my father tried to buy that brownstone we grew up in, because we were thinking of staying in America, I think my father, so I say, when I wanted to buy the brownstone, it was $175,000. I Google every day my old brownstone where I live. It's now worth $1.8 million. By the way, when I get my money from your Bahamas government, I'll be buying that. Thanks.
Hey,
back, bitches.
Sandy says they have been tied up with.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, Sandy says they have been bought and tied up with corruption. They can't stand up for you. This is why I'm saying you need to stand up for your damn self. Stop worrying about other people. Stop depending on other people to do things for you.
Famous doctor. There's a famous doctor at home. I won't call his name. My schoolmate. And when he started making his money in his profession, he's one of maybe 2 Bahamians who do this. He went and bought the house that his mother used to clean on the Eastern Road. And it's this big ass monstrosity. But for him, that represented a fuck you to all the people who would have been treated poorly in that house. His mother being one of them who used to clean the house up. And now this big ass house on the Eastern Road that he owns, I don't know if it made him feel better. I think that it, look at you all like.
Yeah, it was getting a little dark. You see the natural light.
You know, the thing is, people always, when you talk about the victimhood resides in the pain of being treated like shit. And it's not that you go everywhere, I'm a Black person, and I believe you did this to me. However, you must realize what the system has done to generations of people.
What system? Give me the specifics,
man. The system of white supremacy. The system of racial injustice. The system of victimization.
Hey, and listen,
based on one thing, color.
And again, see, and when I do this right, I'm not saying that it doesn't exist, you know. I realize that these things,
you're not saying that.
These things, but not everybody do that because Lorena says he's caping, and I'm not sure why. I don't know who she think I caping for.
Greg, well, first of all, Greg, remember now, because of your age, you look at life differently. For example, I remember, well, Barry, the reason why our very own, for example, I remember going in the club one time and I had locks at the time. The person could tell me, I can't come in the club with my locks. I also had on sneakers. I can't come in the club with my hair like that. I'm like, this is my hair. And this was people who look like us because the European standard is still very much alive in the Bahamas.
But you know what I would do?
To me.
You know what I would do? Why do I need to be in this club? If you don't want me here, I would gladly leave.
Exactly. And that's what I do. But again, in the Bahamas, there are only certain places where you can go for entertainment. I remember being again, and this is me because I born in 1962. Now, I didn't come to the Bahamas when it was all that, shopping on different side of the shop and you couldn't go to the Capitol Theater. I don't know about that, but I was in Brooklyn, New York. But I do not remember overt racism. Now, it could be because I was only 9 years old when I left. But the thing is, we all know that there are certain, for example, I told the story of the 2 sailing clubs in Nassau, Bahamas. There's a reason why you have the British Sailing Club and you have the Conky Joe Sailing Club. Because even among the Conky Joe people, that white supremacist power doesn't see them as on the same level. Now, of course, in 2018, that has changed. Because
what do people do?
Black man in the Royal Nassau Sailing Club.
But what do people do? You start your own flipping sailing club.
Well, that's what they did.
Exactly. That's what you should do. If somebody if they want to discriminate against you, start your own thing and stop crying and complaining to be a part of that thing.
This separate but equal way of living does nothing to bring harmony with the races. Because I'm one of the Black people who get into a lot of trouble because I always say this all the time. And Black people go, oh, Chrissy, you can't believe that. When we were separate, our communities did better. Because see, niggas wasn't clamoring. Sorry, Black folk. I mean, because I know certain people sneak watching. Black folk were not clamoring to get to Lyford Key, to get to the other bourgeois communities. Because we cared about our own communities. Look how shitty and popped down our historic communities look in Nassau.
Mm-hmm. Well,
because separation made us care. I didn't go to the big food store when I was separate. Because I went to this food store in my community. Not Shiraz, you so mean?
Well, we could still do that. Lorena says, Greg, can I join you in Sugar Candy Land? It seems like a wonderful place. Well, Lorena, sure, you can join me. It's free admission. All you have to do is change your mindset and the world will be opened up to you. That's all you got to do.
Right, Gregory.
Brian says, yes, Greg, they did that. They gave lower interest rates to white people to build homes and areas and increase them on people of color. Seriously, read about redlining. Now, again, like I said, Brian, listen to me, Brian. This is what I'm saying. I am not saying that discrimination, racism, oppression, and these things don't exist. What I am saying is give me some tangible evidence, some specific things that we can point to so that either we can fight against these things and get them changed, or we can decide to do what my mindset is, listen, y'all don't want to give me certain things, frig y'all, I can do it my damn self. I can find a way to do it. That's my mindset. So
that's why we have Black institutions. When the white funeral directors wouldn't bury Black people, we formed our own burial societies. When the bank wouldn't give us money, we formed our own ASUs and our own money. And the thing is,
that's what we need to keep doing. I don't like this new set of Black people that are emerging that we want hugs and recognition so bad from the white man. We just want the white man to apologize.
We want fairness.
Hold on, no, see you. But again, I am not saying everyone. You can't speak for everyone. I have seen over and over and over. I consume a lot of content, and I always hear people just looking for a hug and an apology and an acceptance for the white man. Please come on, recognize me as your equal and treat me as the same.
We want an apology.
I don't need nobody apology.
Back from slavery. We need all that put back, because if you had given us that money in our communities, they wouldn't look as shitty as they look.
Well, guess what, Chrissy? I got news for you. Come close. I want to put this one in your ear. Let me say this in your ear.
We get it.
Come, let me put it in your ear.
You know how we get it? We get it like this May when Harry married Meghan and then Black children going Buckingham. That's how we get it back. You see, you trying to kick us in our ass, but that Black, we don't die, we multiply.
Ain't nothing happening. Lorena says racism is oppression based on race, is what that should read. Oppression is covert. Greg, I'm trying to play victim here, but there are things that I can have access to, especially due to skin color. When you can give me a credible reason as to why, on average, a white person in the Bahamas gets more favorable opportunities than blacks, then I'll believe. We have very innovative Black people here, but many cannot get ahead, and it's not due to lack of trying. Well, listen.
Yeah. That's true. And foreign white people treated better in the Bahamas.
Well, by whom?
By your unenlightened Negroes.
Oh, wow. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
They're treated differently by white folk as well. I told you, I have heard Conky Joe Bahamians say the nastiest shit about black people.
You know what? It's more about economics. You know,
that's why in the Bahamas I said a lot of it is class.
Because if you a black successful person with money, they look at you different from the other person that ain't so successful and ain't got,
but they still call you nigga behind your back.
It's not strictly based on race, Lorena. That's not the case.
No, but a lot of it is.
I believe it's more so economics and position than it is race. Trust me.
I've heard white Bahamians talk down to black millionaires. Heard it with my own 2 ears.
Well, they probably got more than them. That's why.
No, that's true, because they believe, again, he who has the most toys wins.
Exactly.
But the thing is, you got to give me an opportunity to get the toys. When you shut me out automatically, then
no. See, that's the problem. They don't have to see. And this is why we feel like the opportunity. You just say you just say you have to give me the opportunity. No,
HBSC.
They ain't got to give you no opportunity, soldier. You need to create your own opportunities. You sit and wait on them. Pardon me?
How come Bahamians don't own banks anymore? We used to own a bank. What happened?
You tell me. You're the old person here. Tell me.
You know your ass. I am not old. I have lived longer than you.
Being old is a blessing. It beats the alternative. I want to be old myself.
No, I can't wait till I turn 80 so I can tell everybody about their ass. When I turn 80, I can't wait. I ain't going to be old.
So tell me why we don't have the black-owned banks.
Well, again, the system is such that we have our neo-colonial laws that prohibit us from certain things. For example, we have the neo-colonial laws that prohibit us from owning certain things. It's the same reason why the number men were fighting. Black men can't own a casino. But these white men come from away and they're given all the concessions and everything. And then we black people who work in the casinos and cleaning the carpets can't even go in there and enjoy it.
And whose fault is that?
Again, there are many reasons why. Because if I try to release my people from the shackles, I mightn't get funding. I mightn't get what I need on the world stage. There are many reasons, Greg, why black people are afraid to step out.
Listen, you keep making excuses for these lackluster Negroes that continue to keep the oppression in place. Stop making excuses for these Negroes. They have the power to change these things with the stroke of a pen. They are the lawmakers. They are the legislators. They can change all these things. They just redo the Gaming Act, right? You talk about gambling in the casino. They redo it, and then they keep that clause so that y'all Negroes still can't go in the casino. They sure didn't take that out. Pardon me?
Well, why is it? They did that for 8 people, though. But the thing is, we have to realize what the system is, and then, like Rhea says, you have to finesse it. But then again, when you have neo-colonialist leaders, legislators, I don't call them leaders because they ain't worth shit. When you have neo-colonial legislators in place, you're going to continue to have that affiliation for all things white and wonderful and foreign.
But you can't blame them for that. That's us. Brian says, I agree with Greg. We have to stop making excuses for things. We know how they operate. Just play the game against them. That's what I'm saying, Brian. That's all I'm saying.
Some of us do. Some of us do.
Lorena says a black person creating opportunity isn't as easy as it's. Listen, okay, here's the problem, right? Let me tell you what's wrong with what you just say. Hold on. I can explain something. Let me tell you what's wrong with what you just say, Lorena. The word easy. It's not supposed to be easy. You understand? Nothing that's worded is going to be easy. The problem with a lot of people is they're looking for things to be too damn easy. It's not easy. No one is saying it's supposed to be. Listen, you're supposed to have to work hard and earn it. You have to do what you have to do.
But everybody doesn't work hard and earn it.
The easy way don't get you nowhere. Nowhere.
When your teeth and ass white great granddaddy set up the system, like for example, I went to school with a wealthy family. And I remember
my great granddaddy ain't even, by the way, just in case people think.
The name is well known as thieves, slave owners. Okay,
go ahead.
I like how we call like 90 them is drug dealers and kingpins, but the same teeth and white people are captains of industry. All right, so I'm just saying that because they've set everything up so well, their children don't have to hit a lick of work sometime because they have consistently benefited from the system that has oppressed others. I keep telling y'all, when we as black people got our so-called freedom from the transatlantic slave trade, Britain paid the damn slave owners. So there's a history of discounting black people and their feelings.
And you know what? That's the luck of the draw, buddy.
You understand? Please. Let me lick my foot up on that. Hold on.
Yeah, it's like I repeat all the time, and I don't know if he say it or not because this we in the information era, and not all information true. But I heard it was credited to Bill Gates the saying, "If you are born poor, it is not your fault, but if you die poor, it is your fault."
I heard that.
You understand? The reality is, unfortunately, the way the world is
Bill
set up.
with his white skin.
But again, the way the world is set up, unfortunately, folks, not everyone can be born into the same family that has the same amount of wealth, that has the same amount of situation, born in the same place with the same access to school. That's not life. You born in a situation, you can't control who your parents are or where you're born or what situation you come into. However, it is on you to turn your life into what you want it to be and not be reliant on others to provide you with an opportunity or to open their arms and accept you and bring you in because, oh, you've had it so rough and so hard. Let me go ahead and give you this. That is not their responsibility. You are responsible for you.
I agree, but there is something called atonement. And remember, there was a time when we were kept out of schools just based on our color alone. Mm-hmm. Okay, I just think that a lot of the past is prologue. What happened in the past has led us to this point where we are now. And a lot of times when people are having these discussions, they seem to forget that. You cannot forget that because that is why we're here now. There was a time, like Sir Dur would tell me to my face, back then people like you couldn't go to QC. I was like,
But tell me this.
What he said?
Tell me this. Where your time machine is?
I don't want to have a time machine.
You got one of them?
Wait, hold on.
Because I hear people referencing the past a lot, right? Guess what you could do about the past?
The past is prologue, Gregory, and that's what a lot of you don't realize.
Okay, let me form the question. What can you do about the past, Chrissy?
You can't do anything but about the past, but learn from it.
All right. So you can't do nothing but the past.
But don't pretend it didn't exist.
You can mold I ain't saying pretend it didn't exist, but you can mold your future. Stop focusing on the past. Sure, make yourself aware of it. And you can apply certain things, but focus on what's ahead, not what's behind. That's a lot of people that are victims tend to soak themselves in the past and what has happened as opposed to what they can make happen.
But
that's
Greg,
the problem.
By virtue of the fact that Black people have survived the Middle Passage, have survived terrible discrimination, have survived colonialism, have survived Jim Crow, have survived victimization of the highest levels, and we have still given the world beautiful things, shows that we are a way shower and a rainmaker.
I agree.
I think Black people dwell. Yes, there are some of us who like, the joke about that person. What's the name of the character who always talk about the white man? There are many people who feel that way, but Black people have shown throughout the ages that from the time the first fucked up Portuguese ship started fucking with us, we have shown that we have been resilient. We have shown that we have created beauty despite the challenges that we have. Hold on, I got to get my charger.
No, and listen, I completely agree with you, and this is why I don't like to hear the victim card so much, because all of the things you just said, I recognize how great we are and can be, and I just wish we would focus on that more as opposed to the things that happened to ancestors in the past. I'm not saying forget it. I'm not saying pretend like it doesn't exist or didn't happen. What I'm saying is let our focus be on everything you just said, how great we are, how innovative we can be. That should be our main focus, how strong we are. Let's start. Okay, they want to discriminate against us and don't let us this, then let's start our own. They don't want to give us bank loans, but let's come together and start our own bank and let's pool our resources and our monies together. Let's do our own thing. This is what I want us to do. You understand?
Oh, we do that, Gregory. Guess what? If the Black, that's why I don't understand why people had such issues with what I said. But if Black people were not pressing onward and moving away from it, you know how much white people would have been dead right now?
Hey, listen.
Are the king. Just the other night, I was watching the news. DC police shot this man. The man said in the police car, he felt threatened by the Black man on the bike. The Black person, yeah, I know. Well, you know, there are many people watching your show who don't even believe in the whole police shootings as an issue in America. And even at home with a Black police shooting people, my friend Job, they find out who killed Job yet? I think they give Job Mamikpo a couple $100,000. See, again, it happens in Black countries as well. But I'm just saying that we as Black people are always called on to forgive. The little girls say, I forgive you for killing my brother, but that doesn't mean I accept it. Of course, they got $3 million from DC. But I'm just saying, we have always been the forgiving. Now, there have been the rebellious among us. However, Black folk have been the most forgiving people ever. That's why when white people accept shock and surprise when we say, we don't like y'all, I don't understand why you're shocked.
No, I agree. We've been very forgiving. Lorena says, Greg, with your entrepreneurial seminars that you host, what is your honest take on the participants, especially those trying to start out? Well, Lorena, it really varies, you know.
You gotta watch Entrepreneur.
Yeah, I've noticed that a lot of people are too reliant on others and other people doing things for them. I think more people need to adopt the mindset that, listen, it's all on me. It's up to me. And a lot of people, what I've noticed is a lot of people have excuses, which is why on Entrepreneur, our slogan is losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. Too many people make excuses. You can ask them about certain things and they will give you every reason as to why they are not getting certain things. All kind of excuses, and they never blame themselves. And that's why it ties into this topic. It's never them. It's never them responsible for certain things. It's always someone else. Oh, because this person did this, or this person did. Not always, but a lot of the times. Not always.
It's free grant money that I access. If me and Chip and Biff and Skip are competing for the eligible grant money, I want a fair shot at that. If I could get some free shit, just like, you know how much white people got free shit to start their businesses? Somebody says, if the pool is there, why can't I sit at the table? Why can't I have a piece of cracker? No pun intended.
Gosh. No, but I get it. We all want, and in a fair world and in a utopia, it would be equal opportunity and a fair shot looking at the applications and really taking the best. But again, I study human behavior and psychology. That is not how human beings work. You understand? You have humans in charge of these things. And let's be honest, and I'm sure any of us would admit this. If my cousin does graphic work and someone else applies for graphic work and their resumes are similar, who you think can get the job?
Oh, we don't mind. All things being equal. We don't mind. But here's my thing.
So, but I'm saying, recognizing this, you have to know that this is the likelihood of what's going to take place. So you have to be able to plan outside of that and not be solely reliant on those things or other people doing things for you. Now, sure, you put your paper in, you apply, you hope for the best, but you keep it moving. You don't rely on it, because the reality is people tend to give things to people who they either like or are related to in some way, shape, or form. That's just the reality of the situation. You got to learn how the game works. That's just how it is. And I'm saying, like I said, I wish it would be.
You talk about that's not how it is. The game ain't fair.
It's not. But you knowing that, you should act accordingly. Knowing the game ain't fair, you know you have to do other things in order to get what you want or where you want to go. That's just the way it is. Elizabeth says they didn't send anything for your podcast. They treating you like diamond and silk with notifications. What's she referring to?
I don't understand.
I don't understand either. But I mean, there's some older comments, so maybe it was something we said back then. I don't know.
Well, doesn't Facebook let you know when things are going live?
No, we live. I don't know what she's referring to specifically. But like I said, I try to do better at reading the comments. So I try to do some comments that were said like a little while ago. So maybe it was something we said at that time. Sandy says, say it again, Greg. 2 things. They are afraid to read and have be scared ishless to act. Them lynching days. Okay.
Tell people, and Sandy, I'm glad you said that, because I keep telling people say to me, oh, Chrissy, why aren't more people talking about what's going on with you? Because I am the person back in the day when the slave tried to break away and escape. They did something like I bring it up all the time, buck breaking. See, if I buck break you and put you in the hot box and whip your ass, I'm putting you in check. So the next person who tried, why are you looking up at this guy? The next person who tried to come and talk shit, they gonna be like, hold on, should I do that? Because look what they buck break her. They put her in the hot box. They whip her ass in the square. Hold on, I know if I want to do that. So again, people are made to fear bucking tradition and racist because there's that fear. So,
no, I get that. I understand. I mean, I wouldn't go that far back, but there are certain things that they use to control people and keep them in line. Not exactly buck breaking.
I can't talk about you. I need my job to this newspaper.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So that exactly. That's more. the point remains. The point remains. It's just an older example. I would use more recent, like you just said. They use your job against you or something else.
Well, guess what? The pathology of oppression sticks with you. Dr. Joy DeGruy does these brilliant things, and she, I think, was your show. Anyway, Dr. Joy DeGruy talks about this trauma that a lot of brown and black people have endured, and they've never worked it out. And it's something that we have to realize has happened. But like you say, we have to. Okay, that history ain't right, Elizabeth. Sorry, boo. I need you to check that a little bit. That history is huge. Sorry, that threw me right off just now.
I don't never argue history. I don't even get into those arguments because none of us was there. And like I say, it is exactly how it's spelled.
You can see
telling the story.
Evidence.
Certain things.
Evidence of what's happened.
But you can like this one, Chrissy. Brian says, Chrissy, that still happens. Look at John Boehner. The dude spent his life criminalizing weed, then go and get a job as a lobbyist to make money from it now. This man has passed laws that has put young black men in for years.
But look at the Clintons. Look at the Clintons. According to them, my son is a predator. But now, again, and that the people say we're making that situation too simplistic. But the thing is, we all know that there are certain rules for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the world skews very white. The white supremacist rule is still in full effect. It's the same reason why white men could tell. Well, thank you so much, Liz, but that first comment was still not really true in history. But the thing is, we are still fighting that same kind of thought process. We are still, like Elizabeth, I agree. Okay, well, thank you so much. But, police killing people who look like me. But the white man who shoot the man in New York, they escorted him. It's like the boy who shoot the people in the South Carolina church. They escorted him to jail and gave him a hamburger.
And I'm glad you bring that up. I'm glad you, man. You know what that is, right, Chrissy? Again, I think that going it's racist. It's racist, but it's also seeped in culture, right? Because you would tend to look out for your black brother more than a white person, right?
Well, I can't say that. It depends on the case, because I keep telling you, I have black and white family. Most of us do.
All things
they are strange. I will admit, I may have compassion for all God's children, but I'm not going to be like random loving up some rando white folk. I'm sorry.
So what I want to get at is, and it's not right, and I don't support it. Let me say that. But situations like that, like you just described with the guy that shot up, people in the church, and also like you would see, like the guy that raped the girl by the dumpster, the white guy, and the judge says, let him get off, no jail time, saying he wouldn't make it in prison or whatever. But they keep, the swimmer, but they keep throwing black people in jail. They keep throwing black people for the same thing, right? Here's why. Because when they look at them, they see themselves. They see a representation of them. They say, this could be my neighbor. This could be my nephew. This could be, you understand? They tie themselves to it. So what we need to do in these situations is we need to then become, put ourselves in those positions. If we see black people getting shot because white people every time, like you say, he riding a bicycle, but he's scared because he's black. Well, we need more black policemen in those neighborhoods that are from that neighborhood that would recognize, man, this boy ain't no threat. You know what I mean? This boy from the corner.
People saying now after Ferguson, Missouri, we need more. A lot of cities where the representative, the demographic is not represented on the force,
right? Or as judges, or on the bench.
Mistrust the police, and I understand. Let me tell you something. Black people mistrust law enforcement. They mistrust the medical establishment, and they mistrust authority because of these the same arms of government which were used to oppress us. So I understand that mistrust. That's why when people say they don't understand why I feel the way I feel about white people since I've been in America, perhaps I always had these feelings, even when I was in the Bahamas. But I will admit, in the Bahamas, they were not amplified. They are amplified as a motherfucker here in America.
Mm-hmm. And and maybe we don't. I haven't spent like extensive time in America. I guess. No, I better not. But I don't really. And maybe it's the lens I'm looking through. Also, I really don't care too much.
Well, it's youth as well, Gregory.
You think so? Because
we want to thank all of my protests with Black Lives Matter. Thank you.
No, But my sister shares your sentiments. My sister that lives in the US, like she's really having a hard time with the large degree of racism that she's still experiencing. And she married a white husband. And so even with his family, you know what I mean, experiencing that racism, like just outright. So she's having a hard time coping with it. That's why say again?
They have children?
No.
Wait till she have children. Grammy had an explosion scene in the movie when America Ferrera brings home Lance, to the abuelita, and abuelita sees he's black and she faints.
No, I don't know. I watched that movie.
That Guess Who's Coming to Dinner shit, that still is real in this day and age. Even though people pretend it ain't.
I've heard, actually, when they do have children, like, let's say, interracial relationships, I've heard that it's rough and a lot of the people are not accepting of it in the beginning. But once the children come, the children actually bring those, you know what I mean, racists that weren't approving. It brings them around.
A Bahamian family who I know, the boy nearly cried on my shoulder telling me his Grammy ain't accept him till he was a teenager.
Teacher. Hold on, hear me out. You can't say not true because it's different circumstances with different people. So in some situations it is true, in some situations it may not be. So this is why I don't like people really using sweeping generalizations and throwing big blankets over things as though it's all, you know what I mean? I saw an interview with the mayor of New York. You know the mayor of New York? You know him?
Is it still Bloomberg?
No, man.
Mayor now. I don't even know who the mayor of New York is.
Bellagio, or something like that. What is his name?
Oh,
something like that. Bellagio, something like that.
Yeah, that's the last.
But white man.
Is he married to a black woman?
Yes, I didn't know that he was on the Breakfast Club with a real black woman. This woman dark. This a real. She looked like she's straight from Wakanda.
You see what you just said?
What?
You hear what you just said?
What?
This woman dark.
Yes. She looked like she's straight from Wakanda.
Why would you say that?
What you mean? Because it is.
If she was her color.
If she was what?
Why would you say, and this woman dark? You know what that's like saying? She pretty for a black girl.
No.
Why would you say she dark like that?
I am describing her appearance.
Okay.
I am surprised.
Why you gotta?
Let me explain.
What shade of color though?
Let me explain.
Okay.
You don't tend to see those guys marrying black people. You don't see them mixing, right? Tall, white.
Them Italians. Italians are the king of the mix.
I don't know what he is. I see a white man. I don't know if he's Italian, German. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
Blasio,
but I see a white man, and like I say, she look like she's straight from Wakanda, straight from Africa. You understand? Wonderful woman.
You know there are people who look like me from Africa, right?
Okay, I guess.
A black woman.
But I am still, listen, it was surprising to me. I didn't know. I was not aware. So I learned, and they did the interview and they were speaking about the relationship. And to get to the point that I wanted to make, he was saying his parents, I think it was his mother in particular, if I'm not mistaken, she was not accepting of them in the beginning. She wasn't for that.
Are you surprised?
Pardon me?
Are you surprised? Come on.
No, I'm not. But what I'm saying is, because you said, when I said sometimes that when they have children, it brings those people around, you said that's not true. I'm describing, but I never said it was all the time. I said sometimes. And I'm saying this is one of those situations where it was the case, because he explained that his mother was having a great difficulty with their relationship. But as soon as they had that first child, he said, it's like his wife and his mother became best friends after that. They like tight. They hang out all the time. They talk all the time. It's like they're like best friends. So I said to say that in certain situations, children tend to bring the person that has a difficulty with it around. And Nadia's asking, and you asking why I say it like that is because I am still in some circumstances, when we see interracial relations, you still turn like, oh, okay. Like you're kind of surprised because people tend to hang with their own, mix with their own. I'm for whoever you love, whoever you want, go ahead. I don't care what color they is, where they from. I don't care who you checking because they ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I mean? That's on you.
That's your liberal side coming out.
So I say it like that because how many white politicians do you see with black wives?
In the Bahamas?
White in America, white like mayors, white mayors, senators, like these prominent politicians. How many of them do you see in interracial relationships? So I was surprised. I was surprised, Chrissy and Nadia and all that. Wonder why I said it like that. I was surprised because I have never seen. I'm not saying they don't exist. I have never seen a prominent. I've never seen it. That was the first time, so I was surprised. Well, remember, that's why it came out the way it did.
Okay, well, I buy that, but also you have to remember again your history. America had miscegenation laws up until the 60s. Miscegenation meaning if you black and I white, me and you can't grind and we can't marry. So again, it's not surprising to me because that was the law. Miscegenation was the law. Slavery was the law. Jim Crow was the law.
Right.
It's a beautiful movie called Law, what a name. But basically with a white boy, the black boy and the white boy were friends. And every time they went to town, the white boy would drink out his white fountain and the black boy would drink out of his fountain. Now, I never understood what the big fucking deal was with the fountain. And sorry, black civil rights activists, because if you look at the plumbing below, it's the same fucking water. And so at the end of the movie, that's what the boys finally figured it out. Wait, it's the same pipe. This water tastes no different. It's the same water. But it's just the fact that you will put a sign in front of it and say, white only, colored only. Like we went to the museum, right? And they do this interaction. If you were at the lunch counter, of course, Wayne and I failed miserably. They were like, "Would you sit there and be spat on?" We were like, "No, we will whoop their ass." Fails miserably. You will not do civil rights activism. But we're saying it from our 2018
lens.
But you know, the thing is,
yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's victimhood because I know we got to go soon. I just think that it's acknowledge my feelings, acknowledge the fucked up shit that was done. Don't paint me out to be such a menace to society. Acknowledge the bullshit that was done, and acknowledge the fact that you have privilege based on the less melanin that you have in your skin.
Well, I agree. I agree with the first part, but not the second part that you said. I agree. Okay, they can acknowledge it, but they can acknowledge it from a perspective and say, yes, I acknowledge that these people did these things to your ancestors and why you feel this way. However, I was not. However, what? No, you need to fix your own
walls that you put up. No, but you crashed my real estate values. You crashed my real estate values.
Fix your own community.
When you put the highway through my community.
Again, that's a problem. If you relying on them to fix your community.
Not relying. It's an acknowledgement. And it's
no,
that's why people think that black folk want reparations to go buy, ban, weed. That's not the point. It's about righting the wrongs that you have benefited from for centuries.
That ain't necessarily right the wrongs. We have the right out. We can right our own wrongs. We can right our own wrongs. That is on us. This is why we're still in this position is because we're waiting for other people to right the wrongs.
No, we're not waiting for the people. It's a symbiotic relationship. I believe that it's a relationship where we both can do our part. And I think some people want to absolve themselves from it, like that.
I agree on all sides.
Well, more so on the lighter complected side. Because again, white people feel that when you have these discussions, like they feel the need to be defensive and they feel like almost not even acknowledging. If you accuse me of something that I had nothing to do with, I'm going to get defensive. But you did have something to do with it. You have benefited from the system.
Oh, okay. Do you like when people follow you around in the store?
But they do.
Hold on. That ain't what I asked you. What I asked is, do you feel offended when they follow you around?
If I know they're profiling me, yes. But sometimes I get mad.
Okay, hold on. No, wait. I just need your answer. Yes, you said you would be offended. Who
wants to be followed around thinking you're going to steal something while the white girl's stealing everything? You following me.
Oh, Lord. But you know what that is? You are being profiled based on
I've been profiled from June 1962.
Listen, let me get it out. You are being profiled based upon what someone else that probably looks something like you did. And what you are doing is the very same thing. You are attributing the crimes of people that look similar to you. Chrissy, let me finish.
Okay, let me let you finish. I just tried to be patient with your argument.
See, but you ain't listening. You're not listening to what I'm saying because you just trying. You trying to hear me so you could rebut what I say even before I say it. That's
Greg,
what you're doing.
Talking this 7 years.
That's what I'm saying, but you keep stopping me from saying it.
You're wrong.
What I'm saying is you are doing the very same thing that offends you when you walk into that store.
Yeah,
they are attributing the crimes committed by others that may look like you to you. And when you blanket white people
because the world is white supreme. We ain't gonna never agree, boo. You trying to get white people this pass.
You ain't even trying to understand, and this is why you have. This is why issues remain. You ain't trying to understand or hear. You don't even want to hear.
Because you talking malarkey, Greg.
Okay.
It's malarkey.
That's your opinion.
Okay. And granted, you and I will never agree on this topic. Never. And I'm okay with that. I know what happened to my people in my past. And a lot of people want to pretend it didn't happen. And like a lot of people tell black people, oh, let it go. Your ass. We ain't letting shit go.
Well, listen, if y'all want to stay in that mindset, in that position, well, that's on y'all. But guess what? I ain't gonna be there with you.
Our music, our dress, our vibe, our skin color, sitting up in tanning boots. I wish every tanning boot catch fire.
So black people don't wear white clothes?
Shame on black people too for bleaching their skin, trying to look white. It's so sad. So hatred.
I wish we would stop doing that, but hey, ain't nothing I could do about that. All I know is I could control what I think and how I look at the world. All I could do is try to encourage you all to be more independent, to be more controlling, to take control of your lives and not make excuses and be the victim and blame other people for your circumstances. Because especially if you're a grown adult, if you're a grown adult that know better, you're supposed to do better. You're supposed to, and I get it. Oh, it ain't easy. It ain't supposed to be easy. Oh, it ain't fair. Well, that's the way it is. You gotta be able to deal with it and find ways to get around it. You have to make a way.
Yes, when you get cotton candy.
So on that note, just my computer for let me end this one. So on that note, people, we just wanna thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you. Please go ahead and share the video. Hit the share button. You can find all of the other videos. Yes, she was very dark.
I can play that like that.
Like I said, I said it because I've never seen it. I have never seen a prominent
list of all the white politicians who have black wives. I tried to
man, show me, please inform me, because before that, I have never seen a prominent, successful white politician with a black wife. I've never seen it. So I was surprised. And I was surprised in a good way. So you all see me say
from when we were slaves, they was trying to get up on this black punani. All right. So it ain't surprising to me, boo.
Yeah, and you all say I say, and she was very dark and black. I was surprised.
You said it, and she was black.
I say it like that. You put an extra emphasis on that.
I can play this show again. She was black.
Yeah, she was very dark. I mean, I was like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. I was
you like that man. You know when the heir to the Seagram's fortune, when it came out that he was married to a black woman. You know, there were white people saying they wasn't gonna never drink Seagram's gin again. Gin again? Boy, I tell you. Anyway, can we all just get along? No.
Apparently not. Yeah, and you yes, it's clear. You ain't trying to get along. That's the thing. No. People don't want to get along. That's the problem. No. And as we saw, especially last week, people don't want to get along. So guess what? I can do what I do. I can make sure I enjoy this life. I only here on borrowed time. So I can make what? You know that? I realize what is king in this world. I realize what really
that rules. Fuck you money.
I realize what really rules. You understand? And that's that moolah, that cash, that paper, that cheese. Trust me.
Dollar bill, y'all.
But anyway, thank you so much. GoUnderTheRug.com is the website. You can check out all our other episodes, our other shows. Please go ahead if you want to donate. If you have it in your pocket and you want to give us a little something to keep the shows going, go to GoUnderTheRug.com.
Take your dollar out.
Donation button.
Watch this. White people give $2.
If you don't have that loose cash to give, we always appreciate a share, a tag, spread the word, take the video, copy the link, send it in all your WhatsApp groups, because you're always sending videos, you're always sending these Christian messages with these Bible and thing inside these WhatsApp groups. Send this video in the WhatsApp group too. When you send the Christian, Yeah, when y'all send all your biblical quotes, send this video in your WhatsApp groups too, eh? Send us and share the love. Please go ahead and do that. We'd appreciate it greatly. That shows support as well. But once again, thank you so much. Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it.
Use my boy. Give me a
Use
pound.
my girl.
So.
Honorable still. Bing. Bam. Right there. Waps. Take that. We gone. Push out. Later. Bye.
You know what? English.